The process of finding a house to flip is a long game. It's not like you set out to look for a deal today and you'll find one today, or even this week, or even this month. You have to start by building the funnels and nurturing the relationships. If you rush this process, you'll either ruin a deal or you settle for a flip where the numbers don't work. I didn't have the patience when I first started. After making a few calls and looking here and there, I was disappointed and frustrated that I didn't get any results. So I talked to my mentor, and I still remember what he said till this day. He said, "You're just starting out, and it takes a lot more work. If this was fast and easy, everyone would be a millionaire." It makes so much sense. If you just spend average time and average effort, how can you expect to achieve exceptional results from house flipping where you make a ton of money? So I got back to the grind. After a month and 100 cold calls, I finally got my first deal, and I was over the moon. Since then, I've flipped over 100 houses with a 6-figure profit on average. And today I'm going to show you my top 3 ways of finding deals so you can put in the work upfront and wait for the deal flow to come directly to you. The first way to find deals is from the MLS, the Multiple Listing Service. You might say, everybody uses the MLS. There's no secret and there's no good deals there. Yes, the MLS is the open market for properties. Everybody can see the houses for sale and can bid on them. Oftentimes, when a fixer-upper got listed on the MLS, so many investors swarm to it and bid the price up, so there's no deal to be made. But there's definitely a secret to finding deals on the MLS, and that's not how most people do it. Most home buyers, especially end buyers, sees the list price as a key factor in whether they're going to make an offer on a home or not. If they see the home is priced low, they think it's a good deal and they jump on it. But as an investor, you cannot just go with the flow and behave like a regular home buyer. As an investor, you need to focus on the opportunities that other people don't see. There are 2 indicators on a good deal on the MLS: a high list price and a high days on the market. When a home is priced too high, naturally, very few buyers would be interested. Very few people show up at open houses. Very few people look at disclosures, let alone making an offer. The sellers probably had high expectations. That's why they listed the property at a high price. But with the little activity, their expectations are shattered and their confidence is totally ruined. The longer the home sits on the market, with each additional day on the market, the seller's expectations will continue to drop. If a house has a combination of a high list price and a high days on the market, that's an opportunity for you as an investor. You can go in and make an offer that's much lower than the list price. And because you are the first offer they ever receive, the seller may just take it. I found many deals like that, so have my students. And these deals are just hidden in plain sight, but most people miss them. Before you make the offer though, you want to make sure that your analysis is correct and your offer price will allow you to make a good profit. That's when I use my deal analyzer. By plugging in all the numbers, it tells me the max purchase price. If you want to grab my deal analyzer, check out the link in the description below. My second way is getting deals from wholesalers. A wholesaler is an investor who focuses on deal acquisition. They tie up a deal and then assign the deal to another investor, usually a fix and flip investor. So they don't do any work to the property, but they take a cut by being the middleman. I like working with wholesalers because good deals are hard to come by, and by working with them, I add an additional deal source to my pipeline. But there is additional risks because when you work with a wholesaler, you usually bypass a real estate agent and there's nobody representing you in the transaction. So you really have to look out for yourself, because the wholesaler's main objective is to sell you the deal to make a profit. So they could artificially inflate the after repair value and mislead you into a bad deal. But if you know how to run the numbers and you are conservative, you can usually mitigate the risk. So how do we go about finding wholesalers? They usually show up at real estate meetings and events, and they're constantly building their buyers list. So you probably want to go to a lot of real estate events so you can meet and connect with wholesalers. And the pro tip is you want to respond to the wholesalers when they send you a deal so that they know that you're responsive and you want to do more business with you. That's how, as a beginner, you can climb up their buyer list, and hopefully one day you can be on the top so that you can cherry pick the best deals that they offer. The third way, which is my favorite way of finding deals, is to work with real estate agents. About 90% of all the deals I do are from real estate agents, and most of the time they are off-market, exclusive deals. I always say that real estate agents are investors' best friends because they really are. They have access to most of the properties for sale, and they also have friends that are also in the industry, other real estate agents. Many agents would bring a deal to me when they're representing the seller. So I would purchase the deal from them, and then after we do the rehab, I'll relist the house with the same agent so that they can earn double or triple commission. That's a huge incentive for real estate agents to work with me as an investor. Even if an agent doesn't have any fixer-upper deals themselves, they can still bring us deals if they know another agent who's representing a seller with a fixer-upper house. A lot of my deals are from real estate agents' friends or other people they work with that are in the same office. I love finding deals through real estate agents because it's more of an upfront effort. Initially, you need to build the relationships, you need to nurture the relationships, and make sure you build trust with the agents. But then later on, it becomes more of a passive effort because you don't have to go out to seek the deals, and agents just come to you whenever they come across a good opportunity. This is one of the reasons why I'm able to do a lot of deals a year without working myself to the ground. I know a lot of other house flippers who spend so much money and time on deal acquisition, even though they also find great deals, but they sacrifice their work-life balance and also have a business that's less scalable. So how do you build relationships with real estate agents? The key is integrity. Not a lot of people in this business talk about integrity, but I think that's what sets me apart from a lot of other investors. For an agent to work with you, you need to earn their trust first. To me, that's do what you say and say what you mean, and always keep your word. If you tell an agent that you're going to purchase the house from them and then resell the house with them again after the renovation, you just have to do it. I know some investors would try to find a discount brokerage to resell the house and cut out the original agent who brings them the deal. Even though they maximize the profit from that one deal, they burn the bridge and would never be able to do business with the same agent again. To me, it's so not worth it because the circle is very small and agents talk to each other. If this agent tells another agent that you did it this way, and no other agents would ever want to work with you. Now that you know how you can find good deals, in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can flip houses with no money. I'll see you there.